tangent now, but for those who are sticking around to kind of hear our own discussion, the essay aspect of this video is over. But I think we should actually discuss a little bit about lowering voting age and changing, making reforms. So I think not to just bring our own political views on this, I think maybe to make it more podcasty, I suppose, we can have a discussion about this. So Charlie, what are your personal opinions on decreasing voting age and changing political systems and, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah. So I am a bit skeptical about constitutional change. I'm a big traditionalist. I love keeping things how they've always been. But I personally think you don't need to fix things that aren't broken. I don't think so if we forget that we've just said about the essay, I don't think the UK democracy is in a crisis personally. But by lowering voting age, for me, I just feel like it takes away the value of the vote, kind of. You wait till you're 18, you're excited to vote, then you vote. Also, most people who are under the age of 18, they aren't working and they've paid taxes in their life. And they're going to be making key decisions for older people who are in these situations. I wouldn't feel personally comfortable, giving someone a mandate to sort out the cost of living crisis, or even make the cost of living crisis worse for people that are a lot older than me, that have been working for longer. I also am a bit skeptical. Some people that I know are 16. I don't think they'd be the most suitable people to be voting, considering how people are childish. You get adults that are childish, but we are the people that are more likely to be childish. So yeah, I'm a bit skeptical about votes for 16. Would I be massively disheartened if they did bring votes down to 16? Not incredibly. It's not something that lays on my mind so much. But if there was a referendum on it, I'd certainly be saying no. If I was allowed to vote, that is.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Kind of my own fault there, karma,
Yeah.
I suppose. But with changing first past the post, I do think that's something we certainly need to be doing. There's only two major democracies in the world that are doing it, and that's the US and the UK. And I think by doing it, it allows for more representative function, but we need to do it in a way where we still secure a strong government. We can't be having a divided Westminster that can't make policy. We know we need a strong mandate, a strong government, which at the same time is more representative of the voice. I don't think it's fair that, someone who's got 49% of the vote can't be in Parliament. I mean, you get divisive figures like Nigel Farage, for example, in 2015 got a very large I think UKIP were the third biggest party in 2016, and they got one single MP. No matter what your views are on the party, they certainly had a mandate to be represented people in Parliament, and they didn't. The Lib Dems got a large amount of votes in 2010. Clegmania was rife, but they actually lost MPs, which is quite shocking. Another flaw within our system. I don't think the AV referendum in 2011 went far enough, but it's certainly something that needs changing. What would your opinions be on the matter, Towers?
Okay. So I'll start with changing first past the post first, considering we're already talking about this. I think there is definitely room for changing that. And just kind of I know we've been playing devil's advocate this whole time, really, because we've been doing this whole debate thing. But I think if for those who would argue that first past the post is good, I think there's definitely the argument that it does produce governments that are strong. And we see that with America, and we see that here as well. I think we are definitely quite publicized, I think, within the media especially. I think everyone kind of knows who the prime minister is. Everyone kind of knows who the American president is. I think there's kind of that situation where whether the leadership introduces good policies or not, there is, or whether it's representative or not really, there is that aspect that people will know who is in leadership and who is making these decisions. And I feel that possibly if we did change that voting system, that wouldn't be as conclusive or as strong, especially if we changed it to a voting system that wasn't plural, because we have first past the post as a plurality voting system, which results in obviously one leader coming out of it. But if we had changed to something, some sort of quota, or some sort of multiple winner system, it might not end up being as effective. Now, obviously, I would personally change first past the post. But that I do agree that there is an argument on keeping that sort of voting system within our nation. But on the other hand, with voting age, I know me and Charlie are personally quite divided on this. I think that's just how it is. We are quite young and we are unable to vote currently, but obviously we will be able to in about a year. So it's not like the end of the world really. But if I consider this, I think there Charlie has got a good point with the idea of people being childish, but I think there is also that general notion that even those who are able to vote, they don't have that political literacy all the time. I think there is a select few that have that knowledge and that understanding, but I think there is a lot more who don't have as much. So I think there's definitely the argument that if we do reduce the voting age, more people will start to vote for their own future rather than the old people voting for ours, because we will be living in the society that we choose. And if the older people will be voting for us, we're going to be living in the society that they choose, which might not be reflective of what we really want for ourselves.
I just want society to be as, inclusive for everyone as possible. And I don't think 2 years is necessarily a massive gap so far that older people would be deciding completely for us. But again, linking back to our voter choice, there are different parties which allow you to do that anyway. But then I think if you're going to lower it to 16, that's only 2 years. Why not lower it to 14? Why not then lower it to 12? I just don't think it's an incredible leap big enough that it's going to make a massive change.
Yeah,
that
mean,
would be my only disagreement.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that argument as well. I think you could definitely argue that there is the case that it's not that big of a jump. But when you really put it into perspective, people at 16 are going into A level and BTEC and CTEC study. These people are maturing. They're coming to an age where they aren't aware of what's going on really. But if you lower it further, I think there's that notion that they are not mature enough, and I definitely understand that even 16 might not be considered mature enough. I don't know. It's just my personal opinion, really. I think I think there's definitely arguments for both sides that I agree with. So it's hard to say, really.
Just want to put it out there. I don't think anyone or everyone under the age of 18 is immature. I certainly think if we were to vote, we'd be making good decisions. But I just don't think it's a massive necessary thing to do, But yeah, it's going to be an issue of our time, and the way our country moves, we do progress quite quickly. I can see it happening in certainly in my lifetime.